Well, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to our lawn. Today I want to talk about how much I saved this year. Now, if you haven't seen the end of the year walk around, go check that out so you can get some context on what I'm talking about. But once you have spent some years taking care of your yard, getting soil tests and addressing the things that the soil test says you need, what I'm learning is you can turn that off significantly and still be very happy with the condition of your yard. So this year I saved 80%. Yeah, 80% on fertilizer costs from 2021 to 2022. Now, I did not save 80% total, but I went from $165 on fertilizer in 2021 to $35, not per application, not per 1,000 square feet, but $35 total on my 7,000 square foot front yard, down from $165. And on the year, since I started to do a little bit more dedicated fungicide program and started to get into PGR, I only saved about $100 on the year. So I spent another $30 on fungicides, PGR, etc. But that is significant if you can save 80%. So let's talk about how I did it. Well, the first thing that we tossed to the curb is soil amendments. Anything organic, anything humic, anything peat moss, whatever is going to amend the soil. Throw it away. I mean, if you bought it, go ahead, put it out, but don't buy it again. The other thing is I found my cheapest available fertilizer, and fortunately for me, because I got a soil test, more on that, I knew that I only needed nitrogen. I didn't need potassium or phosphorus, so potassium and phosphorus applications went to 0 in 2022, which allowed me to just use ammonium sulfate and urea, which are very, very cheap applications. I'm buying those from my local landscape supplier, and I was able to ride out the year on just those. And then I had a 1200 micronutrient liquid product that I was substituting in as well to get some iron and a few other things for the yard. And then in addition, not only was I able to cut out a lot of products and cut out phosphorus and potassium, but I also just fertilized less. I went from 4.4 pounds of nitrogen in 2021 to 1.1. Cut my total fertilizer application in a quarter. Now, next year, I probably will get closer to 2 pounds because I was a little bit light at the end of the year and the color started to fade a little. So I think I'm gonna have to add another application or two in the fall, probably get me up to 2 pounds of N, probably get me up to more like $40, $45 in total spending, but that's still huge savings and helping myself out. And like I mentioned, the soil test is what let me know that I could do less. Now, I know for some that feels like more effort, that feels like more cost, that feels like more time, but it is a tool you can use to refine what you're doing, to know exactly what you need to do, exactly what you need to address, and focus all of your time, money, application energy on just addressing those things. So while it does feel like something extra, it does feel like extra expenditure, it can eventually, once you address the issues in it, save you money. And now you might be thinking to yourself, but nitrogen drives the bus. That's what makes everything green. That's what makes everything grow. How can I get away with less? Well, here's my yard in June when I had not put down any fertilizer. And here's my yard in July at its absolute peak, probably the best it's ever looked, on just 0.7 pounds of N. And so it is still going to look amazing even if you're applying less nitrogen, but you're going to be putting less stress on it by having to mow less, helping with nutrient storage, helping with carbohydrate storage, helping with everything good with the plant by reducing how often you need to mow in order to maintain good mowing practices. And if you want a good discussion on good mowing practices, go check out the video up in the corner and down in the description as well. But and I'm sure like all of you, if you're watching this video, are someone who actually really enjoys the process of going out there and doing things, and the idea of doing less is kind of sad or not inspiring, or you don't get excited about something like that. So I'm gonna give you an alternative. Instead of going down there and feeling good about just throwing down whatever product you have, we're gonna start to feel good about dialing it in. Now, is that cringy? Lame, of course, but so is every saying. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on going forward, is continuing to dial it in and hopefully help all of you try to work to dial it in. And so that's going to be, soil testing is going to be a pivotal component of that. And I know that's boring and nobody watches those videos, but it really is important. And then it's going to be figuring out what your nutrient deficiencies are and putting down exactly what you need for those. And it's going to be figuring out what sort of pest and disease issues you have and finding the best products to work with those that you can apply and maintain that program to dial that in. And with the cost savings, you can get into PGR and you can start to dial that in to reduce even further the amount of growth that you have, even further the amount that you need to mow and the stress you can save for your yard. And then pick up whatever you can find that's the lowest cost micronutrient product so that you can get out there and get the iron into the soil and some of the other miners that your yard needs in order to get that dark green color. So what I want is to any beginners who are starting to get into lawn care and you're seeing and you're getting excited at the results that you're getting, don't get caught up in the fact that the results are because you're putting down all of this fertilizer and thus you must continue to always put down all of this fertilizer. That's not how this works, nor is it inherently how we want it to work. So I want you to take all that excitement, energy, drive, desire, and come along with me and with anyone else that is starting to teach this type of lawn care to all of us work and get excited about dialing it in to exactly what we need to do, exactly when we need to do it, and use that as where we drive our enthusiasm for this hobby and pull it away a little bit from all of the unnecessary applications that we've started to do. So I'm going to have a more dedicated video and more dedicated content on this next year, but I just wanted to provide a little bit of insight into what I did this year and how much I saved, and the fact that with all of that savings, I was still able to have a yard that I was very, very happy with, and I think one that you would be happy with too. So thank you so much for watching. Leave any comments down below, any questions you might have, anything that you've experienced or work with. Like the video if this is something helpful to you and something that you want to see more of. Subscribe to the channel if you want to follow along with everything that I'm doing here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.